Good afternoon, everyone. Pastor Ron Brown from the First Congregational Church of Southington, Connecticut, here with a preview of our worship services and some other things coming up in our community for October 30th, 2022. So there are two opportunities to worship on Sunday, October 30th here at First Congregational Church. Our early worship is at 8 a.m. in the Barnes Memorial Chapel. It's a quiet service, about half an hour long, includes some beautiful piano music, scripture, sermon, and prayers, the sacrament of Holy Communion, an opportunity to be together for worship. So if you are an early riser and would like to worship at 8 o'clock with us in the chapel, please join us there. It really is a wonderful opportunity to start a Sunday morning in a very contemplative and thoughtful way in God's presence. So we invite you to the chapel worship service. Our other worship service is right here in our historic meeting house at 10:15. That is a vibrant worship service filled with music, and children have an opportunity to come forward for a holy surprise before they go off to their church school classes. Just a wonderful opportunity to be together as a community to worship God. Also, sermon, a scripture sermon, and an opportunity to pray together. So we invite you to join us at 10:15 for our in-person worship service right here in the meeting house. If you're not able to be here in person, the service is live streamed. There are three ways that you can participate in worship online: on our website, fccsouthington.org/live stream, also on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. It's there live at 10:15 on Sunday morning, and also is archived there on all three platforms if you would like to participate in worship later virtually. So we invite you in whatever way you're able to join us for worship on Sunday. This Sunday, we continue our journey through the narrative lectionary. We, this fall, are sort of following the narrative arc or the storyline of the Old Testament. If you've been following along, you know that last week Pastor Laura talked about King David and an egregious misuse of his power and continuing to think about God's covenant. And this week we move to the next king of Israel, Solomon, who is David and Bathsheba's son. And we're reading a story from the very beginning of his reign as the king of Israel. You may have heard, you may have heard of the wisdom of Solomon. This Sunday, we'll read how he gets that reputation as being a very wise king, or with a discerning mind, is one of the ways that the scripture talks about King Solomon. And so also, there will be a twist to the story as we look at it, because one of the things I'm going to argue is that as we read the whole story in 1 Kings chapter 3, King Solomon may not be the wisest person in the story. So I hope you'll join us as we explore that this coming Sunday at the 8 o'clock or 10:15 worship services. One event that is coming up that I do want to highlight, and that's happening the next Sunday. Actually, there are two events on the next Sunday, November 6th, 2022. It's All Saints Sunday. And as is our tradition, we will be reading the names of all of the church members, all the members of First Congregational Church who have gone to be with God in glory over the past year. So that's always a very meaningful time as we remember those who have lived their lives of faith among us and now have gone to be with God in glory. But it is also another special day. November 6th will be our second Milton and Catherine Chafee lecture on the future of the church. Some of you may have known Milton and Catherine, or Milton and Kay Chafee, longtime active members of this church. When Kay died in 2011, she left a bequest to the church with which we use to endow this lecture. That happens every other year or so, where we bring in someone of national reputation to talk with us about an issue facing the church today. On November 6th, the Reverend Molly Basquette, who is the lead minister of the First Congregational Church of Berkeley, California, and Ellen O'Donnell, who is a child psychologist at Massachusetts General Hospital, will be with us. They will be talking about their book in an afternoon lecture that they wrote together called Bless This Mess, which is about Christian parenting. So it should be a wonderfully engaging conversation. Molly will also preach at the worship service on the morning of November 6th, and she is really a wonderful preacher. You won't want to miss that. And they also say that their lecture or conversation they're going to have in the afternoon about Christian parenting is really about spiritual parenting. So even if you're not active in a church, any church, but you're interested in having a conversation and perhaps some information, helpful information about what it means to parent kids in this very difficult world that we're living in now, you would be most welcome to join us. That's at 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, November 6th. So I hope that you will join us for worship this Sunday, October 30th at 8 or 10:15, and I pray that God will bless you on this day. God bless.